Hi guys, welcome back after an extended break on my end. I was so glad when it was announced that Bafana Bafana was scheduled to play a friendly game in Cape Town in preparation for the FIFA World Cup, which was just about 2 months away. So join me as we go to DHL Stadium in Cape Town to cover the match against Panama. I drove through to the stadium at around 3 p.m. on Monday to catch the scheduled pre-match press conference. There's also always an opportunity to meet people in the industry, players and staff. So for me, it's something I really look forward to attending. It also gives me an insight into what the preparation is like as we head into the game against Panama. The Panama press conference was first, and their coach Thomas Christensen actually played with one of our ex-players, Dalron Buckley, in Germany. And he was asked about his time playing with him.
Who was feeding me to getting the top score of the Bundesliga in 2002, 2003. I had good players up front, and Darren were one of them because he could attract two players and give me a little bit more space, so I had perhaps 1 against 1 with the centre back. And I think he did a good job. I spoke to him the other day when he came in Durban.
Coach Hugo Broos and Captain Ronwen Williams joined us for the Bafana press conference, and I asked Captain Ronwen Williams about our preparation, thinking ahead to the World Cup and whether there has been an increase in intensity in training.
Hi, Ronwen, Sahil from Transfer Market. I want to speak quickly about in terms of like the intensity of training. In terms of going towards the World Cup, Coach mentioned there's just about 2 months left. Looking at things like altitude and has the intensity in the camp in terms of training, has it increased now that we are slowly approaching the World Cup?
I think the intensity when you're at the national team, when you have a coach like Coach Hugo, the intensity is always high. Does not accept anything less than your best. And we learned a hard lesson when we took our foot off the pedal at AFCON. It humbled us, and if you had to see training now, you can see that everyone means business again. The tackles are flying in every day, no one wants to lose, there's a lot of battles, it looks like a real game that's going on in training. No one wants to lose, and the intensity has definitely doubled this camp. And you could also see it in the Panama game. You could see the intensity, the runs, not only forward, back as well. The defensive work that the guys put in, amazing. So you can see the team is in a good space, because it was a very difficult moment for us. We had high expectations at AFCON, and we let ourselves down. And it was painful for the last 3 months, so we couldn't wait to rectify our mistakes and just get our identity back.
We then headed out onto the DHL Stadium pitch to see its condition, and also got an opportunity to watch Bafana train for around 20 minutes. As the players came out, they were greeted by some lucky kids who got to meet their idols.
And here we are at the lovely Cape Town Stadium, DHL Stadium in Cape Town, ready for the second game between Bafana Bafana and Panama. South Africa have actually played Panama recently in Durban. The result not the greatest, but considering that Panama are superior in rank to Bafana Bafana, this is really a good opposition. Coach Hugo Broos mentioning that the reason that they actually took on an opposition like Panama was because they wanted to prepare themselves for Mexico. The coach of Panama actually disagreeing with that. He's saying, their style of play is not necessarily like Mexico. Nonetheless, this is the best preparation that we can have for the World Cup in terms of a non-African opposition. Personally, I think having 2 games against the same opposition is not necessarily ideal. However, in terms of administration, in terms of traveling, I think this is the best approach. Both home games, just about 2 months to go before the World Cup. In terms of the squad selection, Coach Bruce has said that he's got the full squad available to him. All the players actually out training just behind me. So yeah, looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Well, then it was time for match day and I headed to the stadium.
So we've arrived at the stadium on match day. We cannot get parking as of yet because there's a bomb sweep that needs to happen first before they open the parking lot. So I'm just going to pull over here on the side and wait for this truck to go by. So match day, and after some security checks we are inside Cape Town Stadium. I must say, don't want to sound biased, but Cape Town Stadium, out of all the stadiums so far that I've been to, definitely the most seamless when it comes to security. And here we are. So match day has arrived and it is really the calm before the storm. Absolutely beautiful weather out here in Cape Town. You know, just a slight breeze, but you know, just to keep it cool enough. Nice warm weather. Pitch is looking really good. I know there was a rugby game here not too long ago, so I was a bit concerned about the pitch, but looking at it, I'll take you guys for a closer look later, but looking at it, looks just slightly choppy, but not so bad. Definitely good enough for a proper game of football. Bafana Bafana team bus will be arriving in about an hour or so. Just going to be taking you guys for another tour of the stadium before the crowd gets in. Let's have a look quickly at what the stadium looks like when it's absolutely empty. People still sitting up. So yeah, you guys can have a look at the stadium. I'm not actually allowed to go onto the pitch because the groundsmen are, you know, watching me like hawks here. But looks fairly decent. And as I mentioned that, I have my friend, brother Riaz, also gets here nice and early. How's it, bro?
Pitch is looking absolutely immaculate. It looks fantastic. You always say, Wasim says it looks immaculate. It looks wonderful. It looks a lot better than when I'm here for the rugby and for the Stormers game. But yeah, it looks like it's a quick turnaround in terms of getting the pitch ready. And I think the only thing missing from Bafana's performance on Friday was finishing ability. So if they turn up with the same type of performance, the same mentality, they should come away with a victory. But yeah, it's a lot is going to rest on their ability to finish.
Another test run for the flag bearers, the FIFA flags. Got the music going in the stadium. Got the honorary pitch invaders, Emilio's here as well. It's going to be a stunning event. So I got a father and son partnership here, Keenan with his son. One of the first people that have come into Cape Town Stadium for the match, Bafana Bafana against Panama. Just want to get your guys' thoughts.
Thanks for taking some time to interview us. Well, we're super excited. I ran across the stadium trying to get the best seat. Been here early, checked in, got the best seat, and well, it's my son's first match, you know, looking at Bafana. They rose from a difficult time. We all lost interest, but we are now rejoicing back.
Okay, and then Blake, tell me, who do you want to see in the starting lineup?
I don't know who's going to start, but I definitely say Ron and Williams will start.
Yeah.
But now, Mbokazi.
And what about Foster?
Oh, not a good impression against Dub, but no.
Yeah.
But I think he'll start.
Ciao guys, enjoy the game.
Thanks, man.
The team buses then arrived, so we headed back there to take the players coming off the bus. Panama's bus arrived first, then we dashed across to the Bafana changing rooms as they stepped out. The fans now covered almost the first tier of the main stands as we got back to the stadium. These are of course the prime seats, and those that arrived early snapped them up. The players then headed out for the warm-ups and entered the pitch for the game. And kickoff. Cape Town being Cape Town, we had a Mexican wave making an appearance. I then headed up to the press area to do coverage on the game for Transfer Market. Nothing as serious as the others like Riaz, who finished multiple articles. Pretty insane ability if you ask me. In the second half, it was Panama who took the lead, and it sent shockwaves around the stadium. Everyone went super quiet. You could hear a pin drop. Mbokazi, however, raised the roof and had everyone on their feet with an absolutely stunning strike.
Mbokazi as a midfielder, he's going to have a goal! Mbokazi scores a blinder!
Bafana did end up conceding again, however, and at full time it was a bit of a somber atmosphere. However, I think the preparation takeaways for Bafana Bafana was still there nonetheless. The players then did a walk about the stadium, thanking the fans for attending, and I think it was really heartwarming to see a lot of the players, especially the ones that have links to Cape Town, shown lots of love. I then headed into the press conference to hear the conclusion from Coach Hugo Bruce.
Yes, I think that we started very well on the game. We played very good first half. Even it was another Panama team that we played against on Friday. But again, South Africa played a very good game. We had again 3 open chances. And again, we didn't score, unfortunately. So I think if we could have scored one of those chances, that maybe it would be another game. But the second half, we were overpowered by Panama physically.
So we have reached pretty much the end of the day. Yeah, the breaking news is also that Czechia have qualified for the World Cup. They beat Denmark on penalties. So Czechia will be the 4th and final team in our group, in Group A, at the World Cup. So we of course have Mexico in the opening game, South Korea, and then we have Czechia, who will be our European opposition. Really going to have our work cut out, and considering that we struggled against a team like Panama, that's really gonna it's really gonna test us. So yeah, I think we have one more friendly to go before the World Cup, but it's been a blast to be here, to cover the game, and yeah, hoping to cover the next one as well. Good.